Capsules of
Knowledge of mind in teachers begins in a remarkable way.
DreamNet 21 is just the start.
Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. Today we are going to explore a fascinating topic, the strategies and study methods that geniuses used, from Albert Einstein to Leonardo da Vinci. These great thinkers had unique methods that helped them achieve greatness. Stay until the end to discover how you can utilize these techniques to enhance your own learning. Students, are you aware that Einstein stopped taking notes like you do? Or that Da Vinci fused science with art to memorize? Today, I unveil the authentic study methods that geniuses adopted and how you can implement them without straining yourself. Many students spend countless hours studying, and yet they remember nothing. Why does that happen? Because they don't study smartly. A genius is not merely someone with an impressive IQ. It is an individual who blends intelligence, creativity, curiosity, and persistence to produce ideas or solutions that revolutionize his field or possibly the world. What sets them apart? Various characteristics, habits, and mindsets that geniuses are driven by out of curiosity. While ordinary people are interested in the necessary, geniuses are obsessed with understanding thought deeply. Ordinary people have linear and practical thinking, while geniuses have divergent, abstract, and multidisciplinary thinking. Error tolerance: ordinary people avoid making mistakes, while geniuses see error as part of the creative process. External motivation: ordinary people seek rewards and approval from third parties. Geniuses have internal motivation, passion, purpose, persistence. Ordinary people tend to give up in the face of difficulty. Geniuses persist even when everything seems to fail. Worldview: ordinary people accept the established. Geniuses question the obvious and reinvent the possible. Geniuses are born or made. Some geniuses may be born with extraordinary abilities, but many cultivate their genius through mental practices, discipline, and a love for learning. Genius is not an exclusive endowment, but a potential that can be nurtured. Did you know Einstein's brain was taken after his death and not returned for more than 4 decades? This astonishing story is completely accurate. When Albert Einstein died on April 18, 1955, his wish was clear. He wanted to be cremated and that his body not be venerated as that of a saint. But what happened was something else. Pathologist Thomas Stolz Harvey, who performed the autopsy, made an incredible decision. He took Einstein's brain and took it without permission. He cut it into over 200 pieces. He preserved these fragments as scientific artifacts. Why did he do this? Harvey claimed he aimed to study the brain to understand Einstein's remarkable intelligence, but he never sought the family's consent. Essentially, it was covert theft. For decades, he concealed the brain in various containers, boxes, and even his basement, traveling with it. He displayed it to other researchers and shipped portions like ordinary mail. Not until the 1990s did parts of the brain return to a hospital in Princeton. Currently, some fragments are maintained in museums and labs. The individual who unraveled the mysteries of the universe could not prevent the theft of his brain. And despite thorough studies, no one has successfully deciphered Einstein's thought process. The brain's weight was 1230 g, which is slightly below average. Unusual structures were discovered in his prefrontal cortex. Some parts are on display at the museum in Philadelphia. Highlights of a genius: more efficient neural connections. Highly creative people have greater connectivity between 3 key brain networks: the default mode network, imagination, the executive network, cognitive control, and the salient network. Detecting relevant stimuli, this integration allows them to generate and evaluate ideas more effectively. The eureka moment does not necessarily occur under pressure. Many geniuses report that their best ideas arise in moments of relaxation, such as walking or daydreaming, not when they are intensely concentrated. The IQ is not everything, although many geniuses have a high 1CI. What distinguishes them is their ability to apply original ideas in transformative ways. Interesting facts about creativity. Sleep boosts creativity. A short nap can improve the ability to solve creative problems. Sleep helps link seemingly unrelated ideas. Creativity is associated with longevity. Creative people tend to live longer, possibly because they see challenges as opportunities and manage stress better. Intrinsic motivation is important. Creative people are driven by curiosity and the desire to explore, rather than external rewards. Openness to new experiences predicts creativity. This trait correlates strongly with creative ability. Open people explore new ideas, which feeds their divergent thinking. Conformity inhibits creativity. Social pressures to fit in can reduce creative ability. Geniuses are usually rebellious or nonconformist by nature. What is a study strategy? A study strategy is a method or technique that helps you learn to learn more efficiently. It is not just about reading or repeating, but about using mental, emotional, and practical tools to understand, remember, and apply what you study in simple words. It is a smart way to study so as not to waste time and learn better. What are they for? You save time. You understand? Instead of memorizing, do you remember more easily? You feel less stressed by studying 5 study strategies of real geniuses. First, Albert Einstein technique. Mental visualization and thinking in images. Let's start with Albert Einstein. One of his key strategies was visualization. Einstein used to imagine complex situations in his mind before writing them down. This helped him understand abstract concepts. So the next time you study, try to visualize what you're learning. It can make a big difference. Einstein said, "I seldom think in words." He thought in images. His technique was to visualize concepts as if they were movies in his head. Tip: if you don't understand something, draw it. Make your mind see the problem as a story or game. This activates the creative part of your brain.
Time is relative. 5 minutes studying feels like 1 hour, while 2 hours on TikTok feels like 5 minutes.
Leonardo da Vinci. Technique, multisensory learning, drawings, notes, experimentation. Now let's talk about Leonardo da Vinci. This Renaissance genius used a method called sketching. Da Vinci already sensed his ideas and drew what he learned. This not only helped him remember, but also encouraged his creativity. So feel free to take notes or make drawings while you study. It combined art, science, and engineering centuries before interdisciplinarity was made. Da Vinci not only read, drew, played, mixed science with art, his technique was to connect everything with all advice. He makes color schemes, he explains aloud, makes crazy connections. Are you studying anatomy? Make your own Da Vinci style drawing.
If you get too distracted, it's not a lack of attention but an excess of imagination.
Nikola Tesla, practical mental technique, visualized experiments before doing them. Let's talk about Nikola Tesla. Tesla had an exceptional memory and used the technique of mental practice. Did he imagine himself conducting experiments in his mind before carrying them out? Tesla built complete machines in his mind before he touched them, and they didn't fail. Advice: before solving a problem, close your eyes. Can you imagine the process? Train your mind like a mental laboratory.
Isn't it crazy if it works? Well, sometimes it's crazy, but I still try it.
Marie Curie utilized active repetition and time organization. Let's move on to Marie Curie, the first woman to win a Nobel Prize. Curie was known for her dedication and methodical approach. He persisted in adverse conditions to discover radioactive elements, revolutionizing science. She believed in the importance of constant practice. If you want to master a topic, repetition and practice are essential. Don't give up. Curie was not only brilliant, she was disciplined. She studied in short blocks. She took breaks. And I reviewed what I learned every day. Advice: use the Pomodoro technique, 25 minutes of study, 5 pauses, and at the end of the day, review in your own words that I cannot do science because I'm a woman. I remind you that I discovered 2 elements and you barely discovered the copy and paste button. Isaac Newton technique, deep study, deep word. And total concentration. Finally, let's talk about Isaac Newton. He locked himself up for hours, thinking without distractions, no TikTok or WhatsApp. Advice: do 1 hour a day without a cell phone. Just you, your ideas, and a clear objective that will put you 10 steps ahead of the rest.
If you don't fit, maybe you're made to invent your own law.
One of the most shocking mindsets shared by many geniuses. From scientists like Einstein to artists like Leonardo da Vinci, it is insatiable curiosity combined with an exceptional tolerance for ambiguity and uncertainty. Why this mindset is so transformative. Insatiable curiosity geniuses are not satisfied with superficial answers. They want to understand the why and how. Behind everything, this curiosity leads them to explore multiple disciplines, which allows them to make unexpected connections between seemingly unrelated ideas. Tolerance of ambiguity. Instead of seeking immediate certainties, geniuses feel comfortable navigating uncertainty. This allows them to keep an open mind, consider multiple perspectives, and not discard ideas prematurely. Transformation of approach to problems. They do not see problems as obstacles, but as opportunities to discover something new. Do they reframe the problems instead of asking how I solve it, wonder why this problem exists in the first place, or is there a better way to pose it? They take an experimental approach, try, fail, adjust, and try again without fear of error. Well, we've seen the study strategies the geniuses use. Let's continue with study methods, more effective study methods, spaced practice. Spaced repetition. What is distributing the study over time instead of doing it all at once? Study the same information in increasing time intervals. For example, today in 2 days in a week. Why does it work? Strengthens long-term memory. The brain retains information better when reviewed just before forgetting it. How to apply it? Use memory cards, flashcards. Tools like Anki or Quizlet automate the intervals ideal for vocabulary, formulas, historical dates, recovery tests, active recall. What is it like to try to remember information without looking at your notes as if you were on an exam? Why does it work? It forces the brain to work actively, which strengthens memory. Why does it work? Strengthens memory and understanding. How to apply it? Close the book and write down everything you remember. Ask yourself test or development questions. Teach the subject to someone else. Elaboration. What is explaining in your own words what you are learning and connecting new ideas with previous knowledge? Why does it work? Deepen understanding and create networks of meaning in your memory. How to apply it? Ask yourself why this is like this or how it relates to what I already know. Use analogies or personal examples interspersed interleaving. What is switching between different topics or types of problems in the same study session? Why does it work? Improves the ability to distinguish between concepts and apply knowledge flexibly. How to apply it instead of studying just biology, mixing with chemistry or mathematics, alternating between types of exercises, for example. Equations, geometry, algebra, mind maps, and diagrams. What are visual representations that organize information hierarchically or by connections? Why does it work? Facilitates overall understanding and visual memorization. How to apply it? Use colors, symbols, and branches to represent ideas. Ideal for complex topics or with many relationships such as history or biology. SQ method. 3RSQ 3R method. What is a system for reading and retaining information from textbooks? How to apply it? Explore, survey, browse the chapter, ask question, ask key questions, read, look for answers, recite, summarize without looking, review what has been learned, complementary techniques, technique Feynman. Explain the topic as if you were teaching it to a child. If you can't, study it again. Pomodoro technique, study 25 minutes, rest 5, repeat 4 times, and take a long rest. Active study, underline, make summaries, teach others, create flashcards, study environment, tidy space, no distractions, good lighting. What can you learn from them? Adapt these strategies to current life. Apps music for concentration. Techniques like Pomodoro or Feynman. What can you do today? You don't need to be a genius to study like one. You just need technique, intention, and perseverance. Imagine studying less and learning more. Visual checklist. Draw your ideas. Learn with the 5 senses. View before deciding to organize yourself with Pomodoro. Turn off your cell phone for 1 hour. Which of these techniques are you going to try today? Write it in the comments. If you want more Secrets of Geniuses, like it, subscribe, and share it with your friend who needs this. Urgent. It's not about studying more, but about studying like the greats. You can.
See you in the next video and remember, knowledge is power. Ciao.